Good morning, YouTube. It's early in the morning and I couldn't sleep. So what better thing to do than try to go be creative in your workshop and also get rid of a pallet that's been in the background of every video for the past year. So we're coming toward the end of 2023 and I need to get rid of this pallet because I plan on getting a different table for that area. And I hate wasting wood, so I decided, you know what, we really need to get on it. Don't throw away the pallet. Take a board down, glue it up, and let's make something out of it. So you saw me on the struggle bus there trying to disassemble this pallet, and now all I'm doing here is trying to take these nails out so we can get this cut down and spun up and glued up. So once we did that, cleaned up the board a little bit. This is just boring pine board, and it just goes on a pallet. Sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll get some different types of woods with pallets, but this one was just like leftover junky pine from something. So not going to be too exciting. If you rush forward to the end, you can see what this bowl looks like. But, you know, can't sleep. I'm not a good sleeper, so I just decided, you know what? I got some time, and we're just going to try to make something and try to be productive other than watching reruns of college football. So all we're doing here is mixing up some glue. We're going to get this stacked up like a pancake and glue this up and leave this in there for about 24 hours. So I ended up starting this project on a Monday. You guys are watching this early morning on Wednesday. So this glued up for about 12 hours, not too incredibly long. Great thing about Gorilla Glue is it sets really, really fast. So all we're going to do is clamp this up real quick. And I don't have my smaller clamps available because, unfortunately, my clamps are being used for another project. So how many clamps does somebody need? Always one more. So got this all clamped down, and then a little bit toward midnight yesterday, decided to get in the workshop and see what we got. So it's a balmy 78 degrees inside my workshop. So there's this rare thing of Texas. Texas has two temperatures, at least in West Texas, hot as hell and cold as hell. And especially if you live in West Texas with the wind, both are just horrible. So we're like entering this Goldilocks zone of weather where everything is nice and cool and it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just right. So I'm trying to get as many projects done as humanly possible in this next couple of weeks. So I think for the month of October I'm going to put down a lot of content because it's like the perfect time to get into the workshop and actually build stuff. So once we got everything viced out of the vise and everything glued up, face plates on, and now all we're going to do is turn this down, take this square and make it into a cylinder. And you can see there by the glue up, all of these boards are just oblong, they're all misshapen. That's a great kind of thing about pine or like scrap wood like that. You just turn it onto the lathe and it, you know, forms a cylinder after a while. So that's all we're doing here. No issues with this project whatsoever. I think the more difficult portion of it was just getting the pallet taken apart. That was probably the only part of this project that we had any kind of like real issues with. This part went relatively easy, not a whole lot of problems. That's why I like working with pine. It just gives you good practice, and even though the project might not be all that, you know, fascinating, it's not exciting, it's just repetition, it's good practice. So plus this wood is going toward, you know, something useful, so I'll probably give this bowl away to somebody that can use it. And that's what makes these projects, you know, worth doing. Just get your reps in there. So once we got that into a nice cylinder, took it from a square into a cylinder, and now we're just flattening out the bottom so we can start making the mortise. And you can see there, it's just, you know, junky pine board, but at least it didn't go to waste. I see so much, you know, other channels will just throw away scrap. I'm like, let's try to use it. Let's not throw it away. But now we're just making the mortise. This took no time at all. And if you're just getting into woodworking, start with pine. I say that in like every pine video I do, but it's just good practice. So once we got that all set up, now we're just taking the faceplate off. We're going to get that flipped over on the lathe, and then we'll start the gouging portion. That took no time at all. So once we got that done, now we're just going to flatten out toward the headstock. Square carbide tool works really good for this. And then let's get all that finished. It's still nice and even on every side. And you can see there's still just a little bit we got to take off. And boom, now we're done. And now we can start the actual gouging portion of it here. So like I said, this cut through butter, that's the great thing about working with pine. Really takes, you know, no effort at all. I think from start to finish, this took maybe an hour and a half. And that was just, you know, just gouging, I think took like 7 minutes, but I think it took more time for me to set up my camera and set up the angles that I wanted to do than actually woodworking. But like I said, you can just tell by the video, it ate through really well. So this is all the shavings that are left with it. Surprise, surprise, we're actually going to do another project next week with these shavings. So stay tuned for that. So this is what it looks like after everything's done, and this is just boring pine wood. So you know what's coming next. If you've watched this channel for any amount of time, we're going to sand it. Love sanding. Went from 50 to 120 to 180. This part didn't take any time at all. Went by really fast. No issues here. So didn't spend an incredible amount of time sanding. And then we're going to take the torch out and we're just going to burn it to give it some character, because why not? Because pine is kind of boring. So this is kind of what I do. Just torch it all and try to make it look a little bit more presentable, but not a whole lot of issues. This really didn't take any time at all. Didn't have any real problems. Like I said, just taking the pine board apart off of the actual pallet was the bigger part. And then we'll just hit it with some lacquer to seal everything in. Do this outside, try not to inhale all those fumes, and make a good seal on it. So overall, really happy how this project turned out. Can't sleep, so I'm going to spend my time doing something productive while I can, but it looks pretty cool. I like the way it looks, so hope you guys like this week's bonus. Next week, there's going to be a ton of videos that are going to come out, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, peace! Alright, so project is done. Our boring pallet bowl is made, burnt, toasted, and it's got lacquer all over it. So it is now 1:30 a.m. in the great state of Texas. I am probably going to put this video out today. You guys are probably going to watch this around 7 o'clock. But I have to get rid of this pallet, and I hate wasting wood. So that's why we did what we did. So overall, cool little burnt pallet bowl. We've done this a million times. But just wanted to be creative because I can't sleep and wanted to do something. So I like it. That's all that matters. So if you guys like it, thank you. If you don't, okay. But yeah, cool little bowl to add to the collection. But you know, something cool, just a bonus, whatever. All the videos are just bonuses. But I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go edit the video and then maybe run 4 more miles before I go to work in the morning. But I'll see you guys. Don't worry, there will still be a video on Sunday. I think October, just FYI, if anybody cares, make it to this part of the video. I think I'm going to put out a lot of content for October and just see what happens, because the channel's been growing really weird over this past month or so. I've seen a little bit of a jump, but make stuff while I got time, especially since it's cooling down. It's like the perfect weather right now in Texas. It's like 78, 80 degrees in the evening. It's not 105, and it rained yesterday. I can't tell you what it feels like when you're in the shop and it's 105 degrees outside and it's like 110, 115 in the shop. So I think I'm just gonna take this time, because Texas has 2 seasons. Balls freaking hellish hot and freezing cold with the wind in West Texas. We get this like small little window where the weather is perfect. So I'm gonna try to take advantage of that. So probably gonna see a lot of content come out in October. So anyway, I'm gonna take this, add it to the collection, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.